I'm making a video to give you guys a bagel recipe. This is my own recipe that I formulated 18 years ago. I bought a bagel shop. I made the recipe my own. I bought the recipe with the bagel shop. I liked the bagels, but didn't love the bagels. So I made it my own. I tweaked it. I played with it a lot, and this is the recipe I came up with. And I hope it helps people. Now, in giving you the recipe, I just want to give you just a couple pointers that you may know already or may not know. Depending, if you're in the Northeast, it gets pretty cold. You may have to add warm water to your bagel dough. That's what I did in the Northeast in the wintertime. In the summertime, you may want to add a little bit of ice cubes just to keep the dough from rising too fast while you're messing around with the dough and you know, making the bagels. Depending on how hot or cool it is in your store, it could rise pretty quick. If you're in the South, you're going to want to definitely use ice in the summertime because it gets humid down there and those bagels start rising. But even if you're making bagels, you know, early in the morning, some people go in and make the dough, you know, at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. If you have the back door open, it can get cold in the colder months, you know, November, December, January, February. It can get colder down there, so you're going to want to use warm water too. It just really depends. You're just going to have to, you know, learn with experience and see how it goes. And even with my recipe, you may have to add a little more water, take a little away, but just experiment. But here's a base dough. 100 pounds of flour. Now, when you use flour, a lot of people are using like a high gluten chunk flour. Or like a Pillsbury, but I'm sure people would recommend it to you, or if you go to a place they already have the type that they use. But the brand is Trump and it's high gluten. A decent amount of places from what I've seen are using that I worked at. I think you might want to give that a go. It makes a good bagel. 22 quarts of water. Now, you could get a big bucket, you know, put 22 quarts in and then mark it. You'll know, you'll learn over time, but you want to use like a 5-gallon food grade pickle bucket per se. I call it a pickle bucket, but a 5-gallon food grade bucket. People typically use pickle buckets in that type of business. So 22 quarts of water and then 8 of these of brown sugar, heaping though. When you scoop it down in the container, you want a heaping. It's not an exact measurement. You just 8 of these heaping. I like a sweeter bagel, so that's why I make a heaping. It was, when I bought the place, it was 8 of these, but I made a heaping. I like that. 1 of these heaping a ready sponge. You don't have to add heaping, but I like my bagel to be a little softer. It's like a dough conditioner. That's what I ended up preferring. I feel like it makes the bagel last softer, you know, last longer softer. Some people never even heard of Ready Sponge that I worked for. They had no clue what it was. So some places don't know what it is, but I like that. Any place that used Ready Sponge, I think that their bagels stayed fresher longer and I enjoyed them. And then the last thing is half a pound of yeast. Now, they come as a block of yeast. It's like an active yeast. Some people use dry yeast. I do not recommend that. Totally, I'm against that. And I knew other people that were against that. When they worked for a place, I worked for a place that used dry yeast, and I was not happy with it. I didn't like how it reacted with the bagels. I wasn't 100% happy with their bagel in general, but hey, you know, I was hired to make their dough, not make, you know, a new recipe. They had a successful business, but me personally, I didn't like their bagels, and anyone that came there didn't like the dry yeast. Thing. So I would say it comes in a block. It comes in 1 pound blocks, and you want to cut that in half, take half of it, crumble it all up in the 100 pounds, let the ingredients mix around in the mixer for a little bit, and then add the water. That's what I like to do. I don't remember the exact time the dough would have to mix, but you want a nice smooth dough. I think it could be like 20 to 25 minutes. You want to go one way, I think like 12 or 13 minutes, and then go the other way. But do your research. Really, I just wanted to give you the recipe. I don't want to tell you how to make bagels. You may know how to make them already, but here's a nice, good base recipe that you can work off of and make it your own. I hope this helped you.